Okay, so y'all, last thing y'all heard was you're going to take it off and drop it in your pickle, which I did. If you look, it did join it, but the silver is beaded up where it's slightly melted right here. That's why I don't like using this torch on a soldering project ever, really, unless I just absolutely cannot get it hot enough with either this one or I have this one right here that I really liked, but I can't get it to light anymore. But it worked really well. Or for more of a pinpoint, I use this one. Now this one and this one are both the Benzomatics, and they're okay. I liked my Blazer better. I had one of these in the Blazer, and it was fantastic for the first 3 uses, and then this part right here actually broke apart and melted, and I couldn't use it anymore. So, and it was, I want to say I paid around $50 for it from Rio. So for 3 uses, it definitely was not worth it. But I do like it better. The flame was more of a pencil tip, whereas this one is, if you can see, it's a little bit thicker, but it will work. On this, a lot of times you can just squeeze down, or you may have to hammer it. But because my whole purpose for this was stretching this ring out, I'm going to actually cut this off right here. File it down and try and file straight. I'm like, I don't know if I'm cross-eyed sometimes or what it is, but I do have a very hard time keeping my lines straight when I'm filing. And it doesn't matter if I keep, say I've got my ring right here in this fixed position, it's still, somehow I end up with a slant 90% of the time, and I have to correct it. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Now, we're going to push it in, pull it apart. Now do the same with the other side. And make sure your join's nice and snug. And I see that it is. And I'm going to go ahead and flatten again, because I can see where the metal is still raised in that spot. And I actually don't think it is the metal anymore. I think I cut that melted piece off. I think that's actually solder that's still on there. Now, I have pickled this, so I could, or should really, probably, go back in here and cover it with the Cool Jewel again. But because I know you can heat diamonds, you just don't quench after. So don't forget, do not quench it. Just let it air cool, and then you can dip it in water and put it in your pickle. And if I'm not mistaken, though, that only applies if it's a good clarity diamond as well. So I'm not going to put that on there. because I think that's why my smaller torches are having such a hard time heating it without melting it. Because it should have been done way before. And I shouldn't have had to use the big torch. Because anytime you have to use that big torch on anything small like that, you're running the risk of melting it every time. If you don't, it's just because you're lucky, pretty much, because that flame does not get small enough or stay. It gets way too hot too quickly. And I like to just file the tops of mine, especially after something like that has happened, to make sure it's good and even on top as well. Now I've just pulled a little piece of solder that I had sitting over here on my vermiculite block. It should already be fluxed because I've already melted it into a ball, but I'm going to do it again. Same thing with the piece. And I'm going to use this one this time. I'm going to lock it. I'm sorry, I'm getting over bronchitis. And so if y'all hear me constantly clearing my throat, that's what it is. Alright. See, I was able to pick that up with just the tip. Now, remember, don't just heat the join. Heat as much of the ring band as you can. Now, I am going to try and somewhat stay away from the diamonds that's in that, because I should be able to do from around here to here and get it hot enough. Now, that's saying if my torch isn't running out of fuel. If you look, you can see my flame just keeps getting smaller and smaller. If your torch is running out of fuel, it will not get hot enough to do it that way either. And this little torch right here is actually, it was a soldering iron, but it was a multi-tool one, and I knew that I'd never use the soldering iron part of it because it doesn't get hot enough to solder silver or copper or anything that I would work with. So I immediately took it off and just put the torch attachment to it. I'm wanting to say you can pick one of these up at Lowe's for around $30, but this is the third one that I bought, and granted I did exchange the other two for the exact same thing, and it was because they do have some lemons that just will not light. But this one worked fine. And I know it's time consuming, but if you're going to fill up your torch, just go ahead and fill it until it's full. Don't just stop because you're running out of patience. Because then you're just going to have to stop midway in your next project, like I'm doing, to refill your torch. Never keep your fuel where your torches are. I usually try and keep mine on a different table or under my table. Now, we're going to try this again. And see, I should have known it was low because, as y'all can see, it only took one try and it lit right up that time. It's going to go out on me. Yep. Once you fuel it, sometimes it does take it a minute to cycle it through. And I thought I had it full. Maybe I didn't. It is letting me put some more in there, but sometimes I'm not 100% sure that I'm putting the fuel in. I think I'm letting it out. Because I could have sworn that was about full ago. I don't know, some torch directions show you to have it straight up, some show you to have it to the side. I've never seen any of them show you to do it upside down, but I am impatient, so I do try and just get it to do it the quickest way I can get it to fill up. Alright, I'm going to wait before I go ahead and just jump right in and make sure it's going to stay lit this time. And I do hear it, and it sounds like it's running well. And a good torch will make all the difference in the world. I do promise that. Like I said, because this one, compared to how easy that the little Blazer was, it was the Blazer micro pencil torch, I think. It was just a breeze to work with, and it was an absolute pleasure to work with. This one, not so much. Hey, hon. Okay, see how it's almost orange?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Can you set it down for me?
Did you get my message earlier? I told you the prom is up tomorrow, but next Sunday, and I asked if I could try on dresses sometime today.
Okay, so I've almost got it hot enough.
Where do you send that to?
YouTube.
YouTube?
Not quite. See, something's going on with this one. If you'll see how that flame is not working for me either. So this is my project that should take you 5 to 10 minutes to complete, end up taking 2 hours. There we go. Alright. See, I'm trying to heat the band with just that tip. And not all the way where the diamonds are. Try and stay away from them if you didn't put your protector back on there. Mary Lou, give me just a second. I'll get you back. I know, but I went ahead and packed you a bag just in case. Okay, see, I can already see the solder that was on there before. It's now flowing. I don't even have to put any more on it. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. But it turned molten. I just want to make sure that I do get it in all those little cracks. because normally I would immediately remove it. But right there. Okay. So it was right there. I'm gonna immediately drop it into the pickle. Then we'll rinse it with the water I've got here. Which I did exactly what I said not to do.